Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss. So get ready because there's a lot of important information coming. Before we start, we'd like to take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the most passionate fans of the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Analyst warns Commanders of big move in free agency. The Washington Commanders have navigated free agency in near-flawless fashion since General Manager Adam Peters arrived a year ago. With a strategic and disciplined approach, the team has worked to rebuild the roster and position it for a more competitive future in the NFL. However, as the free agency market evolves, the Commanders need to adapt to the dynamic landscape and make decisions that ensure a positive long-term impact. One name generating debate within the franchise is that of linebacker Dante Fowler Jr., according to ESPN analyst Bill Barnwell. There are questions about whether Washington should bet on him as a long-term piece on defense. Why are there concerns about Fowler? The main reason for caution, according to Barnwell, is Fowler's inconsistency throughout his career and his age. At 30 years old, the player is coming off a productive season, recording 10.5 sacks. However, those numbers came on just 12 quarterback knockdowns, a rate the analyst considers unsustainable. The Commanders need to be careful, as Fowler is 30 years old. Those 10.5 sacks came on just 12 quarterback knockdowns, an unsustainable ratio and out of step with his career to this point. His 11.5 sack 2019 season prompted the Falcons to offer him a significant contract in free agency, but he responded with just 7.5 combined sacks over the next 2 seasons. His production was poor, but he clearly earned another opportunity to establish himself in Washington in 2025, Barnwell analyzed. What's next for Fowler? Given his recent performance, Fowler may be well suited to test the free agency market for the best possible contract. While Washington has been an environment where he has been able to revitalize his career, it's possible he could find more lucrative offers from other teams looking to bolster their pass rush. For the Commanders, the situation is delicate. While keeping Fowler could be positive, the franchise has other priority needs to resolve, which means it cannot commit excessive resources to ensure the linebacker's permanence. A salary increase may be on the table, but within limits that do not compromise the construction of the roster for the upcoming seasons. If Fowler truly wants to maximize his financial value before the end of his career, he should explore the market. As for Washington, the decision must take into account the balance between cost and benefit, ensuring that the team continues its restructuring without compromising the budget disproportionately. Commanders named ideal fit for Giants WR in free agency. Adding a reliable wide receiver alongside top playmaker Terry McLaurin makes sense for the Washington Commanders this offseason, and they only need to look to NFC East rival New York Giants to sign proven threat Darius Slayton in free agency. It's a great fit for a team and player, according to Marcus Mosher of the 33rd team. He calls Slayton one of the best deep threats in the NFL. Mosher highlighted how despite the quarterback's subpar performance for most of his career, Slayton has averaged an impressive 15.0 yards per reception. Since 2019, only 2 receivers have averaged more yards per reception than Slayton on at least 200 receptions, A.J. Brown, Mike Williams. To bolster his case, Mosher mentioned how we saw Darnell Mooney make a big impact for the Falcons last season as a true number 2 receiver, and Slayton can post similar numbers in 2025. Expect him to join a team with a proven quarterback and number 1 receiver this offseason. The requirements of a proven quarterback and number 1 receiver could easily be met by the Commanders thanks to McLaurin and sensational rookie passer Jaden Daniels. Darius Slayton has thrived in niche role for Giants. Slayton has been the true vertical threat the Giants hoped 2023 third-round pick Jalen Hyatt would become. While Hyatt struggled, Slayton has remained consistently productive in deep areas of the field. The 28-year-old was one of the few targets that former quarterback Daniel Jones now felt comfortable going to for big plays. Like when Jones and Slayton connected for a 30-yard touchdown against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 5, a deep horizontal cross, highlighted by Nick Filato of SB Nation's Big Blue View. That play was typical of Slayton's ability to stretch the field. The talent held up, though Jones faltered and was eventually benched, leaving backups Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito to close out the season throwing passes. It didn't matter to Slayton, who was throwing the ball. He still averaged an impressive 11.5 yards before the catch, the second highest average of his career, according to Pro Football Reference. Adding Slayton to the mix will give Daniels a speedster who can beat defenses in an instant and at a bargain price. Commanders need a vertical threat. Combining Slayton's speed with Daniels' arm strength would punish coverage shells with two deep safeties. The Giants gave ample proof of the theory in practice when Slayton split double coverage over the top against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 8, a catch highlighted by talking Giants' Bobby Skinner. Daniels and McLaurin have established a rapport for deep connections this season. McLaurin's 32-yard catch against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 16 put Daniels second in deep pass EPA, plus 37.5, among quarterbacks, according to Next Gen Stats. That would be cheaper than trading for a disgruntled vertical player, which is still worth the risk for the Commanders. Offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley, who is set to become a free agent, could leave the Baltimore Ravens for the Washington Commanders. Baltimore Ravens offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley is set to become a free agent at the start of the league year and is expected to be one of the most sought-after players on the open market. A former All-Pro, Stanley has never recaptured his magical 2019 form, but has remained an above-average starter throughout his time in the league. Starting all 17 games last year, the offensive tackle finished the season with a 70.7 PFF grade while helping the team reach the AFC divisional round. Good offensive tackles are hard to come by, and the Baltimore Ravens will do everything in their power to ensure Ronnie Stanley returns to the team in 2025. However, Baltimore won't be the only team trying to secure his services, as Pro Football Focus believes the veteran could sign with the Washington Commanders. While it makes sense, the New Orleans Saints and New England Patriots could also be in the running for a Pro Bowler. Stanley makes his living protecting the most agile passer the game has ever seen, Lamar Jackson, an invaluable experience that would pay dividends for a Commanders offense looking to keep its young, dynamic passer, Jayden Daniels, on its feet. PFF, Commanders could steal Ronnie Stanley from the Ravens in free agency. The Washington Commanders made it to the NFC Championship game during the first year of the Jayden Daniels era, so just imagine what they could do in year 2. The team already has a strong roster with a reliable head coach, but one of their biggest remaining weaknesses is at tackle. Andrew Wiley and Brandon Coleman are below-average starters, and stealing Ronnie Stanley from the Baltimore Ravens would give the Commanders a major upgrade at one of the game's most important positions. Thanks in large part to the financial stability provided by Jayden Daniels' rookie contract, the Commanders have an impressive $77.99 million in projected salary cap space. With no key free agents to re-sign, Washington could easily pay Stanley and still land a top wide receiver to pair with Terry McLaurin. With those pieces added to an already strong offense, Daniels could lead the league's most unstoppable passing attack in 2025. Other adjustments. The New Orleans Saints have needs all over the roster, but none are as pressing as the offensive line. First-round pick Talys Fuaga played well as a rookie, but the de facto retirement of Ryan Ramczyk means the team needs to find another starting tackle. Fuaga played right tackle in college, so the team could play him at his native position and sign Ronnie Stanley from the Ravens to play left tackle. While it's not easy to make money, general manager Mickey Loomis excels at creating cap space out of thin air. The New England Patriots are among the few teams that can outspend the Washington Commanders. Armed with more than $120 million in cap space, the Patriots must do something to protect franchise quarterback Drake May. The UNC product did a remarkable job of surviving behind the NFL's worst offensive line, but he shouldn't have to do it again. Ronnie Stanley would be an immeasurable upgrade on Vidarian Lowe and could be the franchise cornerstone this team needs at tackle.